The WNBA seems to be caught in a whirlwind of controversy, and Caitlin Clark, one of its brightest stars, is at the center of it all. Despite her incredible talent and dedication to the sport, it feels like every move she makes is met with scrutiny and criticism. It's disheartening to see how the very league that should be supporting her has instead contributed to a climate that undermines her achievements. Caitlin Clark might be one of the least problematic athletes in professional sports today. Seriously, what has she done to deserve the vitriol directed at her? All she does is play basketball, engage in a bit of golf, and fulfill her sponsorship obligations. She participates in charity work and promotes the league, striving to inspire young athletes. Rather than stirring drama on social media, her most viral moments come from lighthearted clips, such as pretending to commentate baseball games. Yet, her recent attendance at a Taylor Swift concert has somehow become a talking point in the media. In interviews, Clark consistently deflects questions that could lead to controversy. She aims to promote the WNBA and uplift all players, regardless of their race or background. Her goal is straightforward: inspire the next generation of basketball players, just as Maya Moore inspired her. Clark has praised her opponents even after tough encounters, demonstrating her sportsmanship. For instance, after taking a hard hit from Kennedy Carter, she commended Carter publicly the next day. This kind of character is rare in competitive sports. However, despite her efforts, Clark finds herself in a precarious position. She recently spoke about the realities of privilege in sports, acknowledging that many successful players in the league are black. This statement was meant to foster understanding and unity, yet it backfired spectacularly. Instead of quelling the storm, it drew more ire from fans and analysts alike. Some accuse her of undermining her own achievements, suggesting that she didn't deserve her accolades. The backlash intensified when critics claimed Clark's recognition came at the expense of other players. They argued that she was robbed of awards that should have gone to others, like A.J.A. Wilson. This narrative is not only misleading but also diminishes Clark's accomplishments. Yes, Wilson is a formidable player, but that doesn't erase the fact that Clark has become a global icon in basketball. The numbers speak for themselves. Since Clark's rise, ticket sales have skyrocketed, and the visibility of the WNBA has increased exponentially. Yet, some still cling to the narrative that her success is solely a product of her race, rather than her remarkable talent. This mindset not only undermines Clark but also sends a damaging message to young athletes, that success is contingent upon race rather than merit. What's even more frustrating is that Clark's attempts to diffuse tensions have only made things worse. In trying to be diplomatic, she has inadvertently alienated segments of her fan base. Those who demanded she take a side are now criticizing her for being too neutral. It's a lose-lose situation. Critics from all sides seem more interested in using her as a pawn in their ideological battles than celebrating her achievements. The reality is that Caitlin Clark cannot please everyone. Whether she speaks out or remains silent, the hate will persist. The extremes on both sides of the debate are unwilling to accept her for who she is, a talented athlete dedicated to her sport. They want her to either conform to their narratives or step away entirely. This pressure is stifling and counterproductive. Clark's situation reflects a broader issue in sports today: the intersection of identity politics and athletic excellence. It raises important questions about what it means to be successful in sports and how race factors into that equation. Should athletes be compelled to acknowledge privilege in a way that diminishes their hard work? Or should they be celebrated for their achievements, regardless of their background? In the end, Caitlin Clark should feel free to express herself without the weight of societal expectations. Whether she chooses to speak out or not, her primary focus should be on her game and what she can do to uplift the WNBA. The league has already experienced a resurgence in popularity thanks to her efforts, and that should be the narrative we celebrate. The bottom line is that Caitlin Clark is a force in women's basketball, and her legacy will not be defined by the hate she receives. Instead, it should be defined by her talent, her sportsmanship, and her impact on the game. It's time for the WNBA and its fans to rally around her, not tear her down. Let's focus on what truly matters: the love of the game.